have it all. I can have it all.
Hello everybody, it's Christy Whitman with the Quantum Success Show, where you can get your information and inspiration to create your desire. And I am actually very thrilled because I have the Harv Eker on the Quantum Success Show today. And before I tell you a little bit about Harv and his professional stuff, I just have to say that it's because of this man that I was at one of his seminars in Los Angeles, California. It was called the Millionaire Mind. I went there with my ex-husband, and it was at that weekend that I realized that this marriage was not going to last. I got such crystal clear clarity, and I started to decide the kind of person I wanted to date and the kind of person I wanted to be with. And so very shortly after that, after going through a transition, I found myself at his Enlightened Warrior Camp, and in front of me was the most beautiful man I've ever seen, and that was Frederick. So I met Frederick at his Enlightened Warrior Camp, and the teaching that Harv has given me through his book, the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and just all the work that I've done through his workshops has been a tremendous shift in my life for the last 10 years. So I will officially welcome you, Harv, and give your bio, but I just wanted to say that. So after 14 years of struggle, Harv Eker cracked the code, and using the principles he teaches went from zero to millionaire in only 2.5 years, and has gone to become a multi-multi-multi-millionaire. During his years of hardship, he vowed that he should ever get rich, he would help others do the same, and I'm so glad you have. He kept his promise and went on to build one of the largest success training companies in the world. He also shocked the publishing world with his book, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, which totally changed my life, hitting #1 on the New York Times, USA Today, and Wall Street Journal bestseller lists for the first week out. And this book has now been translated into 42 different languages. Harv is considered to be one of the most exciting teachers on the planet. Amazing. His tough love style, and I know that that's what always got me, has helped change the lives of over 1.5 million people from all over the globe. So, Harv, I am thrilled to have you here.
Hey, thank you. I'm very, very thrilled to be here, too. It's great to be with a former student who's doing so well and now teaching others. That's awesome. I love to hear that.
Thank you. Well, you've made a profound difference in my life, so I'm grateful for you for that. And I remember reading in your book that you never wanted to go to a restaurant and have to eat chicken. You wanted to order whatever was on the menu. So
well, it was more about having to eat the cheapest thing on the menu, really. Sometimes it would just be soup, like what's the cheapest thing? And, I recognize that my #1 value has always been freedom. And I recognized there was no freedom in going to a restaurant because I didn't cook, and only looking at the right side of the menu where the prices were, and not even looking at what the food was. Okay, let's see. So there's $5.95, $8.95, $12.95, $26.95. Okay, I'll take the $5.95. What is it? Okay, well, it's the soup. Or I'll take the $8.95. It's the chicken. I'll take that. And at that point in time, I said, this is just a crappy way to live.
Yeah. So you weren't obviously always financially wealthy. You are really an amazing story because you went from zero to, all the success that you've had. So for you, what was your biggest breakthrough that allowed you to really change? And I love you changed your relationship with money. So what was that big breakthrough with you?
Well, yeah, it was twofold. It was inside and outside because I thought I was doing everything right, and I went to all the seminars, read all the books, read the Think and Grow Rich, listened to all that time it was tapes and cassette tapes. I did everything, and I was still broke, and I was broke for literally 12 full years, and that's a lot of years of being broke. If anybody's ever tried it for 1 month, try 12 years of it.
Yeah.
And literally, for someone like myself, I thought when I'm coming out of school, hey, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be successful. I always thought that, and it just wasn't happening. And during this time, literally there was many nights where I had to choose between having dinner that night and putting $5 worth of gas in my car to get around and try to do some business. And I would have to choose the gas a lot. And it was just, I couldn't believe this was happening to me. I thought, like I said, I'd be really rich really quickly, but it was very interesting. I ended up living back at my parents' basement when I was over 30 years old. And one of my dad's best friends from the old days. He was a very, 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 very wealthy man. My parents weren't, but he was. He owned half the city. And he looked at me and said, I hear your dad says you're a bum. I said, well, thanks. Very nice to say hi to you, too. So I said, listen, can I give you a little bit of advice? I said, well, whatever. And I said, you're probably going to give it to me anyway, so go ahead. I was kind of snotty. And he said, listen, if there's something, if you're not doing as well as you'd like to be doing, all that means is there's something you still don't know. And being a brash young man at the time, I thought I knew what? Everything. And so I said, well, what do you suggest? He says, well, what do you want to do? I said, I want to be rich. He says, well, how do you want to be rich? You want it to fall on your head? I said, no, I want to be doing it in business. I like business. He says, okay. So, I says, one thing you have to understand is that, all rich people, all rich business people, they think basically the same things and they do basically the same things. It's not a big secret here, I said, he says, what are you studying? And I go, well, blah. And he goes, well, do you study rich business people? I went, well, no. And then all of a sudden the light went, I said, well, it seems obvious now. So since I was broke anyways, I spent the next 6 months just totally immersed in studying rich people, especially rich business people. And I really did recognize there were certain ways they thought and definitely certain principles they used in business that were very, very common. And so I ended up saying, what the heck, I might as well try another business because I had failed in the first 10 of them, 10 failures. And so I did. And I borrowed $2,000 on my Visa card and I opened my next business. And 2.5 years later, I was a multimillionaire.
That's
and
incredible.
All that is so basically proving the principles. After that, it was interesting that so many people that knew me when I was broke saw my new house, my new car, and my new everything, and they're going like, "How could this possibly happen? Like, I just saw you were bumming $20 from me. Like, how could this happen?" I said, "Well, this is what I used to think and used to do, and that didn't work. And this is what I do now, and you see the result." And so they started asking, okay, what is this? So I started telling them, and pretty soon put it into a little, program just to help people with it. And the results that they got were just as good as mine. And so now I've been able to, help, literally hundreds of thousands of people with the same thing. This is what I used to do that didn't work. This is what I do and think now that did work. And man, this is the difference.
It's amazing. It's so amazing. So can you give us a few of what are those things that rich people, that, wealthy people do and poor people don't? Like, what was the big difference?
There's two elements. I mean, we don't have time to talk about both probably, but there's an outer elements, like the business aspects, how the vehicle, the type of vehicle that you need to pick, and that has certain potential, and the ideas of that I'll get into maybe a little bit later about that. But there's business practices that you have to know the business side. I mean, it's nice to have a good mindset about playing piano, but you better know how to play piano. You better know what chords they are and what E is and D is and what sharps are. You have to know that. Okay, it's just the way it is.
Sure.
And then there's the inner game, which precedes that outer game, because if you don't have the right mental ways of thinking, you're going to sabotage yourself. And, it's a lot of people, I'm sure your clients are a little bit more open to this, but a lot of people are not. They're going, come on, this, give me the business elements, give me the stock tips, give me this, and, then it's like saying, if you got a problem in your computer, where is the problem usually? It's not in the plastic, It's not in the keys, it's in the software, right? The software is what the appearance is what you see, but in the plastic and the hardware, but this is software that runs the hardware. So it's the software that makes all the difference in the world. And the fact is that most people were conditioned to be broke. You learned how to be broke. And how do you know that? Well, most people, don't come from wealth. And so whatever your parents and whoever you grew up with, whatever they were is what's in their head that produced their result. And now it's producing your result. So you say, well, I'm doing a lot better than my parents. Well, that's great, but are you reaching your potential? So we come into the world as an empty vessel, an empty cup. Then we get filled up with information, and we get filled up from information from who? From the people that we grew up with. And so their way of thinking and their beliefs around money, success, and wealth and rich people automatically ingrain into us, and for the most part become our way. And so we end up, what we hear, what we see when we're young, and what we experience when we're young, turns into what we see, hear, and do when we're older, and we don't even recognize we're being run by our past information.
Yeah.
But that information isn't yours, and so the question becomes, what is that information? So this first step is awareness. What is that stuff that's is just a supportive way of thinking about money or not? And then it's about understanding that this isn't even my way. It's their way, and I choose something different now. So what I like to do is I like to pinpoint certain ways that people think, and then say, does that really make any sense? And we can talk about a couple of those if you want.
I'd love to. Yeah, just give a couple of them.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the most obvious ones is I really believe that most people, they actually, most middle class and almost all broke people, they actually resent rich and highly successful and highly wealthy people. They see a Lamborghini sitting in front of a restaurant and they don't even know the guy. But they go, what a jerk this guy must be. He parks his car right there. Well, first of all, he didn't park the car. The valet parked the car. And they put it there because they want people to see that it's a classy place. Right. And you don't even know this person, but they're obviously a jerk because they have money, right? And so, and even that philosophy that is expounded today, but even by the governments and by certain people in the governments, and the idea that rich people are somehow bad in some way, shape, or form. And let me just say this right: if you believe that in just even a small little belief that rich people are bad in any way, shape, or form, and you want to be a good person, then guess what? I hate to say this, but you just slit your throat. You can never, ever, ever, ever be rich. How could you be someone that you think is bad if you want to be a good person? It's impossible. You will make sure that you never get rich just because of that one little belief. So how do you change that? Well, one of the ways that we teach is that you need to recondition yourself to admire and love and bless rich people and use them as models and not have this ridiculous outlook that they made their money in a bad way, all of them, that they're bad people. And, one of the things that I learned, I have a house in Hawaii and I'm very blessed to have a huna that, he used to introduce our courses. So he's become a friend, really, really great guy. And he's a kahuna. And so one of their sayings is very beautiful. I'd love everybody to write it down if you're in a place where you can write. And if you're not in a place where you can write, then memorize it or put it into your chat somehow. But this is beautiful, and it makes a lot of sense. It says, bless that which you want. I'm going to repeat that. Bless that which you want. So if you see somebody with a beautiful car, bless that car and bless the person that owns it. If you see somebody with a gorgeous mansion, bless that home and bless the people that own it. Why? Because here's the rule. Anything that you negate, you can never have. I mean, unbelievable. That's a universal truth. If you negate it, you can never have it, okay? But our ego mind will just negate it out of just basic ignorance. We don't even know these people in our right. And let me just say one thing about this, because this is huge. A lot of times, again, people believe, that somehow, we're led to believe that, rich people don't pay taxes, they don't pay their fair share, rich people are bad, all this kind of stuff. But so in my seminars, as you might remember, especially when I'm there, I'll go, okay, so the idea that rich people are somehow, quote unquote, bad. Okay, let's take that one. Okay, so how many of you believe, it might be 5,000 people in the room. I'll say, how many of you believe that there are some rich people who are, quote unquote, in our terms, bad? And everybody raises their hand. Okay, great, wonderful. How many believe that there are some middle class people who are somehow, in quote unquote, bad? And everybody raises their hand. I go, well, how many believe there's some poor or broke people who are, quote unquote, somehow a little bad? And everybody raises their hand. I go, so what on earth does this have to do with money? Yeah. What does this have to do with being rich? It has nothing to do with it. There's rich people who are somehow bad and middle class people and poor people who are somehow bad. It has nothing to do with money, all right? So what is this all about? And the idea is that everyone has to understand that money will only make you more of what you already are. It will allow you freedoms, financial freedoms, that may allow you to be more of what you already are. If you're a greedy jerk, more money will allow you to be more of a greedy jerk. If you are a kind, loving, giving individual, more money will allow you to be more kind, more loving, more giving. It's just a tool, right?
Absolutely.
If you have a hammer, you get to use it to destroy things or you get to use it to build things. It's not about the hammer, my friends. It's not about the money. It's about you. And I'll say to people, okay, if you think that people say money corrupts people, I go, really? Oh my God. Okay, if money corrupts people, let me ask you this question. You're people. At what amount of money are you going to all of a sudden be corrupted and go from a good person to a bad person? Give me the number. Is it like when you get 100,000 in the bank, all of a sudden you're going to become a bad person. You wake up in the morning, oh my God, $100,000. Oh my God, I'm a bad person. I think it's ridiculous. Oh no, it's more than that, Harv. $1 million. At $1 million, I become a bad. It's just, come on. Most of the things that most people have heard, Christy, that are stopping them are simply ridiculous. They're lies. They're untrue, and if you stop to examine them, they make zero sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of this junk. This is pure junk that is burdening you and holding you. Listen, everybody, I'm going to say it right to your face. Not only is there nothing wrong with money, but being rich is fantastic. It's beautiful. It allows you to do many, many things for yourself, for your family, for other people, contribution. It allows you to grow. It gives you freedom to do what you want and spend your time not just trying to earn a living and slaving away, but actually do something in the world that you really want to put out there. It gives you opportunity. Money is a beautiful thing. It's a tool. It's a beautiful hammer that you can build things with. So the idea that money is bad is old. And by the way, I hate to be like too overly in people's face right now because they don't even know me. But I mean, it really bothers me, as you know, when people make up these fictitious stories and then buy into them. But notice who's telling you that rich people are bad and that money is bad. They say, these organizations, and I won't even mention names, say, money is bad. Money is the root of all evil. Remember, the Bible said money is the root of all. First of all, the Bible didn't say money is the root of all. The Bible said the love of money is the root of all evil. And that is a very different thing. And I believe that too. I mean, if you love money more than people and life and good things, that is a problem.
Yeah.
So money's not a real deal, but the love of it is the problem. And so it's interesting to see organizations that tell you that money is so bad, then the next minute they pass around a hat and say, so give it to us. We'll take care of it for you. They happen to be the largest owners on planet Earth. So, come on. So there's nothing wrong with any of that, but just don't buy into it. You buy into the fact that money is a great thing, and that when you earn it, you can use it, you can help other people, you can help yourself, you can help your family, you can help your friends, you can do a lot of good things with it.
Absolutely. I always say money doesn't have an opinion, doesn't have judgments. It's the projection that we put on it. It's just, like you said, it's a medium of exchange in our society, and it allows you to have buying power to have a bigger house or a smaller house or no house at all. But it's us that attracts it or repels it. So
Absolutely.
And I love what you said, too, because it's like this stuff, beliefs are not real. They're real if we think that they're real. And if we examine what the beliefs are, they're sometimes so absolutely illogical and ridiculous, but yet we live our lives by them going, because they're beliefs, right? So if we say, well, it's true, then that's what we believe, and that's what shows up by law of attraction, so then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like, well, there's evidence of it. Of course it's true. See? But it's like...
most people don't recognize, Christy, that they have a choice as to what to believe.
Yeah.
You choose. Here's two beliefs, A and B. Go ahead and choose. Listen, until you show me a big red check mark in the sky about which one is correct, neither are correct. They are only correct to you.
Yeah.
Everyone's got different beliefs. Why is that? Because, as you said, they're not real. They're not even true or false. They're not true or false. They're not right or wrong. They're just ways of thinking. That's all they are. If enough people believe in them, or enough people have the same opinion or belief, then we decide as a society that's true. But it's not true, because a lot of people believe that the world was flat. Earth was flat, and it turned out not to be true. A lot of people believe money is bad. That turned out to not be true. People who are listening and watch this right now, they might believe that, hey, I'm not the kind of person that could get rich. Guess what? That may not be true. I don't believe that. I believe you are the kind of person that could get rich if you, A, change that belief, and B, learn some specific tools to, create that reality for yourself. It's all about just, I couldn't play the piano. Yes, you could. Listen, I've played chopsticks like 8 times. That's all it. But if you said to me, Harv, you can't play the piano, and I'll say, well, that's just not true. If I really wanted to, I really could. Give me a couple of years with a great teacher, and I suppose I could play a lot better than now. Well, it's the same with wealth, everybody. Give you the right teacher and the right tools and the right principles and the right support, and guess what? You will probably do very well. Maybe you're not going to be a billionaire. I'm not a billionaire, but that's because I don't want to be a billionaire. Why? Because I don't want to put in the time, energy, and effort into creating that kind of situation for myself. It's just not my bag. I'm very happy where I am now with my multi, and I could go on for several minutes, millions. So I don't need that. And there's nothing anybody could do that would change my lifestyle. So, for me now it's focusing more on health and enjoyment and giving. I don't say giving back, but giving and helping other people, etc. And so, the idea of being rich is a wonderful, wonderful thing, and you should try it.
You should try. I highly recommend it. And that's what I love about you, Harv, is that you're set. You don't have to be helping other people, but you still have that drive in you to give back and to help other people because you recognize the pain that you went through all those years where you were so broke, and you've got information. You truly at the core of you are a teacher. And with that, it's like you want to continue to give and help. And so if someone was coming to you for help and they really want your support to build a really better life, what would be the first thing that you would have them do?
Well, I want to because I have a past with you as in a relationship as a student teacher, and by the way, when I say that, I'm a student too. It's just a question of what topic, and everyone who's listening right now, I'll bet you that if you were standing on a stage or you were on a webinar talking about the topic that you are really good at, I would be the one listening on a webinar or sitting in your audience. So it's wonderful to be a student and sometimes to be a teacher in an area that you know. But the message that I want to give to people is, especially your audience, because I know they're good people, good hearts. They want to do the right thing, and maybe they still want to, create wealth or make a lot of money. I think that's a good thing to have that combination. You can have both, by the way. Yes. That's one of the big things that I want to explain to people, is that you can be the most empowering philosophy that I can give people is really who I am and what I believe in. That is that you can be kind, generous, loving, spiritual, balanced, and really freaking rich. You can have all of that. They go beautifully together. So do I have like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes? What do I have here?
You got all the time you want, Harv.
Okay, great. I want to share with your group something that I only share with a couple of groups when I'm live, and it's always overseas because I sold my North American company 5 years ago. So I haven't actually done any teaching live for literally, I don't know, maybe 5 years, 6 years? No, 3 years. 5 years for sure North America, but maybe 2 or 3 years internationally, depends what you would call that. So Brazil, India, South Africa, those are the last ones I did. But when I go there with this intention to not only teach the Millionaire Mind, but there's a lot of people that would like to learn how to make a lot of money. So I do this little section called How to Make a Lot of Money. And it's quite astounding because it's very simple. And I'd like to take the next 3.5 hours to do that with your group. No, I'll try to keep it down to like 3.5 minutes, okay? Listen, everybody. Let's try to keep this real simple, okay? It's not going to be woo-woo. It's not going to be law of attraction. It's going to be solid, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. All right. Christy mentioned it before. Money is simply a what? It's a currency of exchange. That's all it is, all right? Now, here's the big question. Who do you get all your money from? Everyone, like especially spiritual people, go, well, the universe. Other people say, well, my job or my business or the bank or my stocks or the trees. Or that's not trees. It's not cows. It's not the universe. You get all your money from the one group, that entity in the world that actually uses the currency called money, and those are what? People, other people. So let's get that point first. You're going to get all your money from who? Other people. Now, your people. Why would someone give you their money? I mean, they work hard for it. Why would someone give you their money? Why would you give somebody else your money? Here's the answer. An answer. The primary reason people give you their money is if you will help them with something, right? What does that mean, help? It means you will solve or partly solve a big or little problem for them. So why do people give you their money? For you to what? Solve a problem. So what are you? Are you a money maker? No. You are a what? You are a problem solver. If you get that, everybody, you'll already turn the corner. You'll turn the page on the idea of earning lots of money, earning money in general. So the most important thing about that is to say, I am a problem solver. So everybody say that with me. I am a problem solver. That's how I get the reward called money. Everyone listen closely. Money is a result. Money is a result. If you focus on money, you will never earn a lot of money. If you focus on what creates money, what earns money, you will earn a lot of money. You have to focus on what? Solving a problem for people. Now listen closely. I don't want you to solve many problems for people right now. I only want you to focus on one problem that you're solving them. Now, it could have many forms, but one problem that you're... Now, the most important thing about that is that people say, well, what problem should I help people with, Harv? This is a very important thing. You help people with a problem that, A, you can solve for them, like in the real world, not a bunch of BS. You can help solve for them. And B, you want to solve for them because it's something that's important to you. All right? So it's where your head, what you know, meets your heart, what you want, what's important to you to give back to people and give to people and help people with, all right? So where your head and your heart, your passion and your purpose meet, okay, your knowledge, all right? So now you know how to help people. Now, what's the next step? Well, there's a few other steps, but the most important thing here is you've got to know what problem you actually have to solve for them, and you've got to be able to articulate it. What's the word? Articulate it in a way that they understand it, and that they understand that you understand what their problem is. And that's why all this fancy schmancy advertising never works. It doesn't work unless you have $1 billion budget, and it still doesn't work. Okay, the only people that make money are the advertising companies. So it's got to be a very simple and clear message of, here, I understand your problem, and I can solve it. That's it. Just identify the problem and solve it, but make sure it's the right problem. Okay, so once you do that, then the next thing is, so here's the question for everybody: how do you make money now? How do you make in our case, $1, depending on where you are living? How do you make one piece of money? What's the answer? You know the answer now. Solve one problem for one person. They will give you one money, right? Got it. Okay, good. So now we know how to make one money. Okay. How do we make some money, everybody? We solve that problem for what? One people? No, that's one money. Some people, right? We solve that same problem for some people. We get some money, right? Here's the big question. So great. How do we make a lot of money? Easy answer. We solve that problem for what?
A lot of people.
A lot of people. Got it? So one money, right? So we solve one problem. For one person, we get one money. We solve the problem for some people, we get some money. We solve it for a lot of people, we get a lot of money. Yay, that's how we do it. We solve that problem for a lot of people. That's fantastic, except for one little problem. The challenge is that most people are not in a position to solve the problem for a lot of people. How? Well, number one, they have a job, which is okay, that's fine. A little hard to make a lot of money in a job unless you're like CEO and that's great. It's a hard place to get to, and you have very little control. So I like the idea of your own business, full-time or part-time, to grow it, eventually full-time, maybe you'll see if you do. But so now you're not in a great position. Why? Because you're getting paid for your what? Time. Mm-hmm. Now, wealth rule number one, everybody, no limits on your income. If you want to get rich, you cannot have any limits on your income. If you're in a job or, a personal service business where you have to be there in order for the service to be provided, guess what? You are being paid for your what? Your time. Mm-hmm. Here's the problem. Time is what? Limited. What did I just say? No limits on your income if you ever want to get rich. It's one of the biggest things I learned, okay? So you now have a limit on your income. It's very hard for you to get rich unless you're a great investor, and we're going to leave that off. So if you're in a job or in any way, shape, or form being paid for your time, you're in trouble. Why? Because there's a limit on it. So here you are. You're a massage therapist. Wonderful. Fantastic. You not only are a massage therapist, you are the best massage therapist in the freaking world. You have a way of massaging the spine that alleviates all back pain forever, no matter what the person came in with. You're a miracle worker. That's great. Okay? In 1 hour, you can solve a person's back pain. Fantastic. Okay? So here you are. You want to do that, and you want to help a lot of people. You want to help a lot of people, and you also want the result, create wealth for yourself too. So that's great. Now, you can do how many massages in a day? I don't know, 6, 8 maybe. All right, so you know now that we've taught you how to make a lot of money, you help a lot of people. Great. So you are so fortunate. You're so great. You have 1,000 people lined up outside your door. They have been waiting there for days, for weeks, for months. You have 1,000 people lined up at your door. What do? You shoot yourself. What can you do? There's nothing you can do. Why? Because you are limited. Because you've set your business up in such a way where you are being paid for your what? Your time. Time is limited, therefore you are limited in your income. Period, over and out. You cannot help a lot of people in that way. All right, so what do you have to do? Let's backtrack. You must do this word. Write it down. This is a word you must absolutely memorize and ingrain in your psyche. You must systemize. You must systemize and create a system, right, that replaces you. That you must systemize your business so that you do not have to be there in order for you to deliver the value, in order for you to solve the problem for people. If you have to be there for the problem to be solved, you cannot help a lot of people. Therefore, you cannot make a lot of money, period, over and out. Is this making sense, I hope? So you have to systemize whatever you're doing in such a way where you don't have to be there in order for it to solve problems for people. So even Christy, your situation right now, hopefully you've got this webinar. Hopefully it's going to a lot of people. But now you're not talking to each person individually again. Hey, Bill, how are you? I want to tell you what Harv said, and Harv's going to talk to you. And here, to watch this video. Now, Susan, it's your turn. I'm going to call you. Okay, never going to happen, right? But you can put it on the web, and not only thousands, but tens of thousands, 100,000 people could be helped by, hopefully, this webinar and this conversation. And that means you're not there anymore. You're, cooking dinner for your family, and there are people watching it and getting help, right?
Yeah.
That's what you want to be doing, everybody. So why do you do that? You systemize so you can help a lot of people, and that step is called duplication. You duplicate the system. If you have to be there for the problem to be solved, you cannot duplicate it enough to be able to help a lot of people and make a lot of money. So it's as simple as that. Everyone, how do you make money? How do you earn money? By solving a problem. How do you earn money? By solving a problem for one people. How do you earn some money? By solving a problem for some people. How do you earn a lot of money? By solving a problem for a lot of people. But you have to be in a what? Position to be able to solve that problem for a lot of people. How do you do that? By creating a situation where you're not paid for your money, but you're paid for the delivery of that value, the problem being solved. And you do that by systemizing whatever you're doing so that it can work without you. You replace yourself, and then you can duplicate it. Case closed. One more little thing on this is that for your people especially, is that in this way, not only do you make a lot of money, you help a lot of people. Mwah. Beautiful.
Love it. You're awesome. I got to tell you something too. I went to Train the Trainer, and Blair Singer was, under your old company. Blair Singer was my teacher, and taught me what you had taught, obviously, and how to duplicate yourself. Because I saw my dad for years. I mean, he's 84 years old. He still works. He, hardworking man. Worked 6 days a week, was up really early just to provide for his family. He always had the mantra, if you want something done, you got to do it yourself. And he had to, and he still has to. Yeah. And I told myself, when I am in my own business, I'm going to have a team. And so to your point, I have an amazing dream team that does things that I don't want to do. They do things that allow me to have the freedom in my life. And has allowed me I have a coaching academy where I certify coaches, and I have an amazing teaching team that teaches the content, and they're serving more people than I could do on my own. So
absolutely, that's fantastic. And then just for everybody's knowledge, so you have a team. It doesn't mean everybody has to understand. It doesn't mean that you employ all these people. No. You might employ some, but a lot of them are independent contractors. You pay them for what they do. The other thing everybody needs to know is that sometimes your leverage and your systems can come from technology, just as you're doing right now. People say, oh, I don't want to deal with a lot of people. Fine, don't. I know a lot of internet billionaires who don't deal with any people, but they've got the internet and they've got the technology that works instead of them. But bottom line, if you have to be there for the delivery of that value, for that problem to be solved, you're in trouble, and you can't help a lot of people. So that's what we've got to do, is change that around. Absolutely. So I do have something that I want to mention also, and that is that along these lines, if it suits your people, because again, I love this kind of an interview and these type of people, true to my heart, and we created an ebook, and the ebook is called Speed Wealth. And it's got 8 very specific principles, 8 very specific steps to create wealth quickly. Okay, so if anybody's interested in creating wealth quickly and doing it the way I've been talking about, and doing it in a way that really serves a lot of people, then this is something you definitely want to read. I love it because it's very, very, it's small. Okay, I don't love these 300. How big is your book? 300 pages. Okay, next I'm not going to read. Yeah, right. I might read 20 pages. Like, forget her. So I'm not doing that. So it's small, it's quick, it's deliberate. And I do want to say one thing. The ebook is essential for anybody, I believe, who wants to go to the next level in their financial life. But I have to say, because it doesn't say this, so I've got to tell people right now. There's 8 steps. You have to use all 8 steps for it to work. If you use 7 of the 8, it won't work. It's as simple as that. Number 2, you must do them in order. If you don't do the 8 in order, it won't work. Now, I have people sometimes, well, Harv, I had 3 friends that became multimillionaires based on this, and then I didn't. I go, okay, great. What did you do? I'll see somebody like I'm signing about. I'll go, what did you do? Well, I did this and this and this. I go, what about the rest? Well, I didn't. Hello, okay. Or they say I did this, and then I did this. No, wait a minute. That's step 7. You only went to 2. You can't put 7 in front of 3. What are you doing? Okay, do it again. And then they'll call me back 3 months later. Oh my God, it works. Yeah, well, I know it works. It works for hundreds of thousands of people, right? Just do it in order, everybody. That's all I'm asking you. All right, and it's quite profound. So what I'd love to do is, again, a bit of giving back first, and that's one of the principles is give first that I use, and that is I want to gift everybody the book. So everybody listening right now, just simply you can go to the website, download the book, and get it and read it. Okay? It's pretty short. The principles are very, very, very powerful. That's what made me go from literally broke for over a decade to what many people call extremely wealthy, and this is what I teach now, and man, it just seems to work for people. So just wish I would have read it a little bit earlier myself or gotten that. So let's go. I think I have a website for your folks over here. Actually,
we're going to put a link underneath the video, so you don't even have to worry about it, Harv. So we'll just link it, so everybody, you can go right into the video. There's a link, and we're going to give you Harv's very nice gift, and I'm looking forward to reading it myself, because I know you've been a profound teacher for me in my life, and I'm grateful for you.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing your wisdom.
Everybody, and I hope that you got something out of it. And the most important thing I can leave you with is, if you want to have a lot of money, don't focus on money. Money is a reward. Money is a result. It's a result of what? Well, now you know, solving problems for a lot of other people. There you go.
Brilliant. Love it. And I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much. So leave us a comment, you guys. I mean, there's been tons of pearls and nuggets of wisdom, and let us know what you're taking away. So thank you so much. It's been truly an honor to meet one of my greatest teachers in this way. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Christy, and congratulations to you and your beautiful success and your beautiful family, and bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Harv. Bye.
Thanks for watching, and here is a related video to watch right now. Also, check out my free webinars on creating whatever you want in your life using the universal laws that I explain in each webinar. So share your thoughts by leaving a comment and continue the conversation at ChristyWhitman.com.